I'm a firm believer that when an issue begins, or when a problem becomes an issue, or when a situation becomes an issue, it's never there that you should be worried. It's not that the person disrespected you in public. I think it's more the things we don't look at. The small moves, the no answered questions, the funny look, the look from the side, the small disrespect, it's never really the big ones. It's you ask somebody a question, they ignore you and you let it go. You don't call it out. That's what builds into becoming something major. It's never really the big thing that you worry about, like you are disrespectful to me. Before you get to that, they already were disrespectful to you. Yes. It could be very small. It could be answering you after 5 hours. You send a text to somebody, they answer you 5 hours later. That's a major disrespect. You need to call them out. Nobody has their phone in the pocket for 1 hour. Nobody. Unless they work for scientific, whatever. No one. The majority, you check on YouTube or check on statistics, you see, the majority of people hold their phone at least 27 times per hour. So if somebody answers your phone 5 hours later, it's just because for them you're not that important. They don't respect you that much. I'm just being honest with you. Okay, you can find all the excuses that you want to find to justify your situation, but the truth is, they don't respect you that much, because if their boss sent a message, they'll reply. Certainly you're not the boss, but they don't respect you like the boss or anything close to that. Anyway, the same applies to many things in the world. When you see trouble, don't say people are creating trouble. You need to understand where they come from. How did this begin? When you see a house burning, you need to understand why, how, what's the beginning. It's not just the house being burned. Now, we have a situation here, fellas, in Togo. Here's Togo. Beautiful country, lovely people. Been there before. Amazing culture. A lot of them believe in nature or things or ancestor. It's not Christianity or Muslims. Even though there are Christians and Muslims, many people are animists. They believe in African power, African gods. It's their culture, respected. In Togo, they're going to be testing people of COVID. We spoke about this a few days ago. We're speaking about it again today. And I think it is important that we talk about this. From now on, everybody that went to Saudi Arabia for Hajj program, Muslims have to go to Mecca because that's one of the pillars of Islam. You have to go to Mecca to be Hajj. And many people live everywhere, all across the world, going to Mecca, looking to achieve just that. Now, 2,500 Togolese people went to Mecca this year to go and pray and become part of that program before they return. Togo has said they're going to check them of COVID. Why is this? Because a few days ago, 1,300 people were deleted by something. Some people say it's because of the heat. The place is very hot. 50 to 55 degrees Celsius. That's very hot. Some other people say the reason could be a respiratory disease and looking like COVID. Now, when that information came across the world, Senegal was the first country to implement measures at the airport. And all Senegalese that came back from Mecca, and Senegal has implemented again obligatory face mask. You cannot go to the airport without the face mask. This is crazy, fellas, because we forgot about this story already. I mean, it's crazy. It feels like people just need to go sit in a room, boom, and all of a sudden they bring you new measures to follow up on. So Togo is expecting 2,500 people to return from Mecca from their prayers. And those people are going to be subjected to testing and maybe quarantine, and if not lockdown. I think we are very slowly going to somewhere. And I'm not saying this is all related, okay? We're just thinking, right? Cool. A few days ago, many presidents from Africa went to France to meet with the French president. What was the subject? Do you remember that? We even made a speech talking about how the Ghanaian president was jokey with the French president. Remember that? We were saying that the Ghanaian president is just funny like that because the French president being younger than the Ghanaian president wouldn't allow an African president as young as the French president to play with him like that, because that's just Africans about respect. Anyway, African president went to France to discuss the possibility of raising $1 billion to finance companies that will build a platform of creating vaccine at a very fast rate for African people. Let me repeat that. African president went to France to discuss with the French president on how to get $1 billion to build facilities in Africa to create vaccines for Africans. Those presidents are back. Then all of a sudden, boom, Saudi Arabia. People are coming back with funny stuff. Now you're gonna have to wear a mask. I'm just saying, it has nothing to do. I'm just giving you, this is just how it happened. First, they went to France on a meeting, discussed on how to get money for the vaccine. All of a sudden, boom, oh no, we're gonna check you guys, because I'm just saying, it's just nothing to do with each other. It's just, yeah. So Senegal now is checking people out. People wearing masks at the airport. Here's Senegal. And here's Togo. Now Togo's follow through. What do Togo and Senegal have in common? They both speak French. They both were colonized by France many years ago. Anyway, it says nothing to do with nothing. And I know many people are thinking, oh, this guy's a conspiracy theorist. No, that's not the case. Let me explain to you. Believing in everything that you hear online is being stupid. That's what you call conspiracy theorist. Okay, I agree with you. But on the other hand, not believing in everything or anything that's suspicious that you see online is also being stupid. An intelligent person knows how to balance. You know how to think for yourself. If you believe your government tells you the truth, you're stupid. You're more stupid than a conspiracy theorist. If you believe everything that you hear is correct, everything science talks about, especially health, is real, you're stupid. Because you don't know what's the intention of the person that published whatever he published was. You have no idea about that. Anyway, let's continue. The Togolese president said something very interesting during COVID. This is what he said at the time. He said, today our country is very proud to be the first country in Africa to receive the first dose of Johnson & Johnson vaccine made in Africa. Yes, this vaccine was made in South Africa, not by South Africans, by a company that is not run by South Africa. It's an European investing company that produces anyway, you understand that? Just because it's made in South Africa does not mean it's African. So just slow down. I'm therefore delighted with the rapid arrival of these doses, and I invite my fellow citizens to be vaccinated massively to stem the disease. I would like to thank all the partners and the support of the country and the strategy. So he was saying, we're very happy to receive vaccine that come from Africa, pushing people to go get their dose, which is not a bad thing. I think it is important as a responsible person to make sure your children or your friends are good, right? However, I also think that an intelligent person knows how to wait on things and understand. The bottom line is nobody's perfect. People that refuse to get vaccinated were not all smart, but they were not all stupid either, because we've all come to find out officially that there were many issues with many of the vaccine that we're just saying. We're not lying. We're telling the truth here. People that refused to take the vaccine were not all smart. That is truth. But saying all of them were stupid is also not being very smart, because we've come to find with time that some of the vaccines had issues. That's why they were pulled out the market. Now, my question is very simple, okay? African presidents go to France. They go discuss on how to get, money to build vaccine facilities in Africa. From the French president, whom a few years prior came to Africa and said, one of the reasons why Africa is poor is because Africans have too many babies.
In Africa is about girl education. 63% of non-educated adults today are women. That's the deep roots of the gender inequalities. One of the critical issues we have regarding the African demography is the fact that this is not a chosen fertility. I always say, please present me the lady who decided, being perfectly educated, to have 7, 8, 9 children. And this is not teaching African people from New York. This is a pure bullshit to say that. A lot of African leaders today now dare to have this kind of speech. This is just because a lot of girls were not properly educated. That's why for me education is the main answer. First, to avoid the worst. Second, to maximize opportunities in African countries and in the rest of the world. Third, to properly monitor demography, because it will be a chosen demography.
You shouldn't be having too many babies. I'm just reminding you that President Macron doesn't have any child. Anyway, his wife is older than him. I don't know if that is important, but I'm just saying. You have too many babies, but I like you very much. I got some money here. We have money to help you get vaccinated. And now, Togo, Senegal, who are former colonies of France, are implementing things that look like something you understand. Let me know how you feel about this. I don't know if you feel comfortable with this. What are you deciphering from this? What do you understand from this? I want to know from you. People went to Mecca. Many fell on the ground because of the heat, apparently. Now, all of a sudden, it's not the heat anymore. It's something that goes through your lungs. Now, very slowly, they're starting to block is this going to grow into different countries? Is this going to move into other places? Especially the president that went to this meeting in France. I'm just saying, I didn't say they're going to do it. I'm just asking, what do you think? Let me know how you feel. And before you go, fellas, YouTube told us that many of you are watching videos, you're enjoying it, but you're not subscribed. Please do subscribe. This is going to help the channel move forward. Thank you very much. Bless.